Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were away. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know. Talk for hours and never slept. Two silhouettes on the concrete steps. We watch the sun as it slowly crept from the horizon to the place we met. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
Actually, I think it's a bit too windy, so maybe I should make a fire. Yeah, it's too windy. Maybe I should just clean up here and then I'll make a fire in a different day. This is hard as a rock. It's only the middle part is soft. Oops.